Brought to you by DK Audio.
DK Audio presents Retirement, the Psychology of Reinvention, a practical guide to planning and enjoying the retirement you have earned. By DK. Read by Bethan Dixon. Happy Retirement, the Psychology of Reinvention. Forward. Approximately 25 years ago, my father was offered an early retirement package at the age of 55. While physically, he was ready to retire from a demanding job at the telephone company, psychologically, he was not ready. I was just beginning my research career, and so my interest in the psychological aspects of the retirement process was piqued by my father's experience. Much of the research on retirement at that time, in the early 1990s, was focused onto health and wealth. That is, most economists believed that health and wealth were the driving forces behind the decision to retire. However, a quarter of a century later, and having published several books, book chapters, and numerous articles on the topic of the psychology of retirement since then, I'm amazed at the dynamic nature of retirement in the 21st century, as well as the critical importance that psychological factors play in the transition to retirement. Today, retirement can take a number of different forms. This can include volunteer work, starting a second career, taking on the role of caregiver, or more likely, some combination of roles. Retirement has become a very individualized and personal journey for those making the transition from a career to that next phase of life. Happy Retirement, the Psychology of Reinvention, is ideal for anyone who's making the personal journey from full-time work to retirement. Every moment is bursting with practical advice that, importantly, is based on a solid underpinning of the most recent and comprehensive scientific research on the psychology of retirement. The book covers every stage of the retirement process. Chapter 1 puts work and retirement in the context of life in the 21st century. Then Chapter 2 focuses on the importance of early planning for retirement, while Chapter 3 covers the key challenges in the lead-up to the big day. Next, Chapter 4 discusses the transition from work to retirement and the unique challenges faced in the first days, weeks, and months after leaving full-time work. Chapter 5 then covers how best to grow psychologically into the role of retiree and the importance of looking after yourself as well as those close to you. Finally, Chapter 6 is about the many ways in which you can reinvent yourself in retirement and reach your maximum potential. Happy Retirement, the Psychology of Reinvention, serves as a comprehensive, accessible, research-grounded guide to the psychology of retirement for the increasing number of baby boomers making the transition from worker to retiree. Professor Kenneth S. Schultz, Ph.D. Chapter 1. Work and Life. Retirement in Context. Sunset or New Dawn? Facing the future. We all face retirement in our own way. Some see it as a gift, while others may think of it as a challenge. The key is to approach retirement with optimism, treating it as an opportunity for new kinds of fulfillment. Retirement, like going to school for the first time or having your first child, is a major life landmark. As such, you're likely to have to come to terms with two major changes: long periods of free time in which to occupy yourself in a satisfactory way, and feelings of loss regarding the structure and purpose that work provides. How do you feel? Are you happy and confident about the prospect of retiring, having perhaps found work a burden you're relieved to be free of? Or are you anxious about the change, concerned how you'll cope without the career that occupied so much of your waking time? Sometimes people in the lead-up to retirement describe it as carrying an element of uncertainty. With several options available to them, choosing one way over another seems inherently risky. Excitement is a common response, too. The sense of a new life beckoning, of a long-awaited rebalancing, or a freedom from commitment, as if a debt had finally been paid off.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?